Hello students, you are welcome in the third lecture of a chapter of solutions. In the last lecture, we have completed solubility and the factors affecting solubility of solid in liquid and gas in liquid. Solubility is nothing but maximum concentration of a solute in its saturated solution. That solubility is expressed in the unit of moles per liter. Three factors we have studied which will affect the solubility. First one is nature of solute and solvent, temperature and pressure. Those three factors we have completed. In the first factor we have studied that in the nature of solute and solvent, the important term I have told you is like dissolves like. If the solute is polar, solvent is also polar. They are easily mixed into each other, forming homogeneous mixture. Because in that case, solute-solute interaction, solvent-solvent interaction and solute-solvent interaction are comparable, almost similar. Second factor, temperature we have studied. In general, we know whenever solute is added to the solvent, at high temperature, solubility increases. Exceptional cases are there. Few exceptions also we have seen. In case of gases we have studied. I have given you one example also there. Fishes will prefer to stay at the bottom of sea rather than at the top in summer season, and that is based on which law? Charles law. Volume of gas is directly proportional to temperature. With increasing temperature, volume of gas also increases, and that increased volume of gas may not be accommodated in the liquid. Therefore, solubility of gas in liquid decreases with increasing temperature. So at upper level, less proportion of gas is present, whereas at the bottom of sea, higher proportion of gas is present. Therefore, fishes will prefer to stay at the bottom. Effect of pressure we have studied. There one law we have seen, Henry's law. According to Henry's law, solubility of gas in liquid is directly proportional to pressure of gas. Henry's law constant Kh, unit we have studied, mole per decimeter cube per atmosphere or mole per liter per bar. And few deviations are also there, like ammonia dissolved in water, carbon dioxide dissolved in water. They shows deviations. Ammonia and carbon dioxide has higher solubility in water than that of the expected value. Why? Because they are soluble. There is the formation of hydrogen bonding. They are soluble. Solubility is higher. And in this lecture, we are supposed to complete these points. Vapor pressure of solutions of liquid in liquid. Then Raoult's law. What are ideal solutions? What are non-ideal solutions? What is the positive deviation from Raoult's law? And what is negative deviation from the Raoult's law? So let us see it one by one. Vapor pressure of solutions of liquids in liquids. We know what is vapor pressure. Whenever any liquid is heated, it is converted to gaseous phase and it exerts certain pressure of vapor, and that is known as vapor pressure. That point of vapor pressure we may be studying in detail in the next lecture. Whenever any liquid is heated in a closed container, molecules at the surface layer have tendency to escape. They have tendency to convert into the gaseous phase and they exert certain pressure on the lid. lead, that pressure is known as vapor pressure. That is the vapor pressure. And we have studied vapor pressure of solutions of liquid in liquid. Means one liquid is solute and the other liquid is solvent. One liquid is present in less proportion, other liquid is present in the higher proportion. Liquid in liquid, solute and solvent, both are liquids. For this type of solution, what is their vapor pressure, that we have to study. How this law, Raoult law, is applicable over here, that we have to study. Let us consider a beaker. Suppose this is a beaker. In this beaker, I have taken one volatile solvent A1. This is a volatile liquid which is acting as a solute. One more liquid I have added over here, that is nothing but acting as a solvent. Let it is A2. A2 and A1 both are volatile and they are mixed, forming a mixture. They are forming a homogeneous mixture, that is solution. A1 and A2 mixed together forming homogeneous mixture, that is solution. So now A1 and A2 are mixed thoroughly, but A1 we have taken in less proportion, that is liquid, solute. A2 we have taken in more proportion, that is liquid, that is a solvent. And they are closed at the top. So what will happen? Both are volatile. Means both will undergo evaporation. Both will be evaporated. And both have tendency to convert into gaseous phase. Both liquids have tendency to convert into the gaseous phase because they are volatile. So what happen? A1 is converted into gaseous phase. A2 is also converted into the gaseous phase. This part is nothing but the gaseous mixture of A1 and A2. And both will exert pressure on this lead. This is nothing but a lead. Both A1 and A2 will exert certain pressure on the lead. And that pressure is nothing but the vapor pressure of solution. Total vapor pressure of that solution. Total vapor pressure of A1 plus A2. That is the vapor pressure of solution. And in order to calculate the vapor pressure of A1 separately and vapor pressure of A2 separately, Raoult law is applicable. So here we have completed the vapor pressure of solution of liquid in liquid. Now what is Raoult law? Raoult law is applicable for what purpose? It is applicable for calculation of vapor pressure of A1 in the mixture as well as vapor pressure of A2 in the mixture. Now let us consider P1 is vapor pressure of A1 in a mixture. P10 is the vapor pressure of A1 whenever it is pure, in the pure state. And X1 is a mole fraction of A1. What is that mole fraction? You have studied last year in the chapter. Here we have studied calculation of concentrations, analytical techniques maybe. There you have seen molarity, molality, normality, mole fraction, like those. And that is X1. X1 is mole fraction of A1. Similarly, let us consider P2 is vapor pressure of A2. Then P20 is vapor pressure of A2 whenever it is present in the pure state. And X2 is mole fraction of A2. We have considered this data. Now what is Raoult law? According to Raoult law, vapor pressure of A1 can be calculated in the mixture, as well as vapor pressure of A2 can also be calculated in the mixture. And this Raoult law is stated as vapor pressure of any component in the mixture is equal to the product of its mole fraction in the mixture and its vapor pressure in a pure state. What is it? You got it? What is the statement of this law? Raoult law is stated that vapor pressure of any component in the mixture is equal to the product of its vapor pressure in pure state and mole fraction in the solution. In this solution, how many components we have taken? Two components. So it is a binary solution. One solute and other solvent. We are studying only binary solutions. Two component system, binary solutions. A1 and A2 are the two components. So here for this solution, Raoult law is applicable to calculate the vapor pressure of A1 as well as to calculate the vapor pressure of A2. Both are volatile. They exert certain pressure. What is total pressure? Total pressure P will be equal to P1 plus P2. Total pressure P is the pressure of A1, that is P1, and pressure of A2, that is P2. So summation of P1 plus P2 is nothing but the total pressure. This is a total pressure, complete pressure. So what about P1? Is it complete or incomplete pressure of solution? Incomplete. Known as partial pressure of A1. What about P2? It is also incomplete. It is known as partial pressure of A2. And to calculate the partial pressure P1 and P2, Raoult law is applicable. So what is the statement of Raoult law? Raoult law is stated as partial vapor pressure of any component in the solution is equal to the product of its vapor pressure in pure state P10 multiplied by its mole fraction in the mixture. What is mole fraction in the mixture? X1. So this multiplication P10 into X1 is equal to P1 according to Raoult law. Because what is Raoult law? Raoult law is stated that partial vapor pressure of any component in its solution is equal to the product, means multiplication, of its pressure in pure state and its mole fraction in the solution. Similarly, what could be expression for P2? It is P20 multiplied by X2. That is Raoult's law. And total pressure is P1 plus P2. So substituting for P1 and P2 in this equation. This is the Dalton's law. According to Dalton's law, total pressure of solution is the partial pressure of components in a mixture. Substituting for P1 and P2 from these two equations, we can write P is equal to P1 is nothing but P10 X1 plus P2 is nothing but P20 X2. Now see, important thing, we are studying binary solutions. So suppose, what is meant by binary solution? It is prepared from two components. So suppose X1 will be equal to 0.1. What is the value of X2? It is 0.9 because totally it is 1. 0.1 plus 0.9, it is 1.0. We are preparing a solution from two components. One solution is prepared from two components. One solution and two components. Instead of 0.1, if this is 0.3, this must be 0.7, such that summation will be equal to 1.0. Always summation of x1 plus x2 will be equal to 1. So here x1 plus x2 for binary solution is 1. From this we can write x1 will be equal to 1 minus x2. So this x1 if replaced by 1 minus x2, what we can write? P will be equal to P10 1 minus x2 plus what is it? P20 x2. Here x1 is replaced by 1 minus x2. Further, solve this bracket. We can write total pressure P will be equal to P10. It is P10 minus P10 x2. P10 x2 plus P20 x2. P20 x2. Just bracket is solved and we will get that equation. Now taking similar terms together, we can write P will be equal to P20 x2 minus P10 x2 plus P10. In between these two, we have a common. What is common? X2 is common. Therefore, P20 minus P10 into x2 plus P10. So that is the equation, and this equation has a form of straight line. This is why this is M x plus C. So if we plot pressure as a function of mole fraction of second component, that is solvent, bigger component solvent, we will get the straight line having slope P20 minus P10 and intersect on y axis will be P10. So if we plot P as a function of x2, we will have intercept on y axis P10 and slope of the line will be P20 minus P10. From that graph we can calculate P20 minus P10. If x2 and P is known, we can calculate P10 also. So that is the application of Raoult's law to identify ideal and non-ideal solutions. Graph is not of so much importance. Let us see that theory. Now, composition of vapor phase can also be calculated. How to calculate the composition of vapor phase? Simply this one. P is equal to P1 plus P2. And P10 is equal to P10 into x1. P20 is equal to P20. Sorry, P2 is equal to P20 x2. P1 is equal to P10 x1. Instead of these values, instead of P1 and P2, instead of P10, P20, we can consider any other values. Here they have deduced one equation. P1 is equal to Y1P and P2 is equal to Y2P. Where Y1 and Y2 are nothing but the mole fractions. P is total pressure. P1 and P2 are the partial pressures according to Raoult's law. That part we have explained over here also in detail, not necessary to repeat the same part, and graphs are also not of so much importance. The important part is what is meant by ideal solution and what is non-ideal solution. Ideal solutions have certain categories. Ideal solution must obey certain properties, where the first one is ideal solution must obey Raoult's law over a range of temperature. See, from this one, what could be Raoult's law? Here, the Raoult's law, we can see if P is plotted as a function of x2, we will get the straight line where this is nothing but P10 and the slope will be P20 minus P10. That is the Raoult law from this equation for mixture. So what are ideal solutions? Ideal solutions are the solutions which must obey Raoult law over a wide range of temperature. Over all conditions of temperature and pressure, mixture must obey Raoult's law. They are the ideal solutions. Further, whenever one liquid is mixed with other liquid, neither heat must be evolved nor absorbed. The process should not be exothermic or endothermic. That is the ideal solution. Means change in enthalpy must be zero. No change in heat should be taking place. Third, if we add one liquid to the other liquid, should not be change in the total volume. If first liquid is 2 ml, second is 3 ml, ideal solution must have exact volume of 5 ml. Should not be greater or less than 5 ml. So no change in volume must be taking place. Whenever two liquids are added together, that time they will give the ideal solution. Next, in ideal solution, solute-solute, solvent-solvent, solute-solvent interactions must be same. They should be comparable. And vapor pressure of ideal solution always must lie in between the vapor pressure of solute and solvent. Those are the properties of ideal solution. Important properties of ideal solution. And the solutions which will not obey those properties are nothing but the non-ideal solutions. Means in case of non-ideal solution, they should not obey Raoult law over a wide range of temperature and pressure. Vapor pressure of solution is not in between the vapor pressure of solute and solvent. Vapor pressure of solution must be either greater than the vapor pressure of solute and solvent or maybe less. If it is greater, known as positive deviation. If it is less, known as a negative deviation. So here we have seen ideal and non-ideal solutions. Now see what is meant by positive deviation from Raoult law and what is meant by negative deviation from the Raoult law. If the vapor pressure of solution is greater than this expectation, what we will get? We will get this type of curve, and it is known as a positive deviation from the Raoult law. And in that case, why vapor pressure is higher? Because solute-solvent interaction or intermolecular forces are weak. Solute and solvent intermolecular forces are weak. Therefore, they are easily evaporated. Solution is easily evaporated and will give the higher vapor pressure as compared with the expected vapor pressure, and that gives such a type of positive deviation. On the other hand, last case, what is meant by negative deviation? If we see the solution will have less vapor pressure. Less. Instead of this line, we will get less vapor pressure. Why there is less vapor pressure? Because solute-solvent interactions are strong. Intermolecular forces of attraction are strong as compared with the solute-solute interactions or solvent-solvent interactions. And therefore, solution is giving less vapor pressure. Less vapor pressure is exerted, and at that time it will show such a type of negative deviation. That is the negative deviation from Raoult law. Those are the points which we have completed over here, important points. And from next lecture onwards, we are starting with the main part of the chapter, that is colligative properties of non-volatile, non-electrolyte solutions.